Hello and welcome to Abbitt Media. I'm Grant Abbitt and today we're looking at episode 6 of Node School, this time focusing on displacement. This builds on the other episodes, so you might want to check those out and check out my playlists for other free courses. So first of all, what is displacement? Well, you may have seen in the texture packs, along with our color, roughness and normals, we have a displacement as well. And as usual, the white information is pushing outwards and the black information is pushing inwards. So how does that change the shapes in Blender? Well, here's two cubes. One has the basic PBR material with color, roughness and normals. The other one has a displacement as well. And you can see that the displacement texture is pushing the geometry inwards and outwards. So whereas this one is just sort of reflecting light and giving the illusion of bump, this one is actually creating the bump on the geometry itself. So before we jump into how we do this, it's important to know that in order for this to work, it needs to push geometry out. So your meshes need to be quite dense in terms of poly count. That will therefore increase render times and tax your computer in the viewport more. So do be careful when using this. So how do we set this up? Well, I'm in the basic scene, and like I said, we need an object with lots of faces in order for it to work. I'm going to keep the default cube and move it to one side, so you can see what happens when it's got few faces to work with. And I'll add in Shift A, Mesh, and I'll add in a monkey. Now on the monkey, I need to add even more geometry than is there already. So we can go to the modifiers and add a subdivision surface modifier that way. Or I can press Ctrl 4, and that will give it a subdivision surface modifier with 4 subdivisions. If I press Z to go into wireframe now, you can see it's got nice dense geometry. So this should work just fine. So let's go to the shading workspace and try and add our displacement texture. So with my monkey selected, I'll create a new material and I'll call it crystals. Now in order to add a PBR material quickly and easily, we can make sure the principal BSDF is selected and press Ctrl Shift T. That will take you into your folders and I can select my folder with the crystals PBR pack in it. For this to work, you must have the Node Wrangler installed, so Edit, Preferences, Add-ons and type in Node Wrangler, make sure it's ticked. There's a link in the description to this material. Now also for this to work, the names must be the right convention. And unfortunately some PBR packs don't work in this way, but an awful lot do, so you can try some out. If you select all now and press Principal Texture Setup, it creates this lovely setup for you. So we've got our base color, our roughness, our normals, and we've now got this displacement as well. Don't worry about the ambient occlusion, I'll talk about that another time. But you'll notice it's not actually adding any bumpiness to our geometry. It does have the normal map and that's working well, but it's not pushing in and out the geometry. Also you'll notice there's a big seam down the middle here and around the ears. So I might want to change this to box projection. So have a think about how you do that and maybe have a go. Okay, so hopefully you remembered that you need either object or generated. I'm just going to go for object, and then we need to change each of these to box. Now you may see some joins, so you might want to go in and change the blend for each of them as well. I find 0.1 quite successful. Okay, so we've got our crystal texture set up, but it's still not working. Now there's two reasons for this. One is that this displacement node will only work in cycles. So we'll change across the cycles now, over to the render tab and down to cycles. I'll change to my GPU and I'll put my viewport samples up just a touch. So now we can switch to cycles, but we still can't see any change in our geometry. I'm just going to put an HDR Eye in the background so that we can see our object more easily. So I'll go to World tab, Home to zoom in, Shift A to add, Texture, Environment Texture. Put that at the front and open up an HDR Eye. Then hook that up. Now we can see it better, but yes, still no displacement. So once you're in cycles, there's a feature set option. Now you have to change that to experimental. And the other thing we have to change, we can either change to the material editor or do it in our nodes, but we must be in object mode. I'm going to do it in the nodes, as I think it's easier to see. Press N and go to options. Under settings, there's displacement, and we'll use displacement and bump. Suddenly you can see our object changing and the displacement having a strange effect on our monkey. What we can then do is go across to our displacement node. I'll press N to get rid of this panel. And the option we want to change is the scale. Put it down to 0.1 and see how you get on. It's always a good starting point, 0.1. So now we can see that the geometry is actually changing and we've got actual bumps on our object. Now what you may find is when you push this up, it's sometimes possible to see that where the seam is, you get some slight distortion. In this case it's not doing too badly, but if you do get that, then that's a limitation of the box projection and the blending. In order to sort that out, you need to try and hide your seams and use a UV unwrap, which we've touched upon in previous episodes. Probably the best way is just to keep the scale down, and if you need big changes to your geometry, then it's best to actually model them. So I'll bring that back down to 1. Now what happens if I try to add this to my cube over here? I'll go to solid mode quickly and just select the cube, then the monkey second, and Control L to link the materials together. So now they share the same material. If I go back to cycles now, we can see the result. And we have no bumpiness. So have a think if you can remember why that is. So as I said before, you need some actual geometry for it to push around. So let's add a subdivision surface modifier to it, make sure it's selected, come into the modifiers, and see if you can remember the shortcut to add a subdivision surface modifier to the cube. So yes, I can press Control and 1, 2, 3 or 5, so Control 1 in this case, and not much has changed, but as I put up the levels, we can see it slowly start to change. And I can go right up to 5, I wouldn't go beyond that though if I were you, otherwise it may crash your computer. So there we can see the bumpiness and the displacement all working. So that's a quick intro to displacement maps. There's more to be said about this. There is a second way to do it, and that's within the actual modifier. So add modifier displace. And this modifier actually works without using the node, and you don't need the experimental version enabled. You would add your texture in here. The problem with this is you've got a limited amount of texture coordinates, and you can't use the box projection method. So generally speaking, this is a good idea for flat surfaces or for surfaces that have been fully unwrapped. Okay, so that was displacement. In the next episodes, we'll go back to more procedural based texturing rather than using image textures. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.